no longer in private. It's wonderful to be able to just speak to myself. I'm going to click here and then click here. All right. I should be up and running. No longer in private, so I should be able to see all my wonderful fans. Man, what a day. It has been a day. It has been a day. And I'm sorry for being late. As you can see, I've got a TAC map up here. I get this notification every now and then when
Anchor Music Sippers reported news. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will address the nation Wednesday morning, Politics UK reports, becoming the third leader to do so the same day alongside US President Donald Trump and Australian.
Okay, it stopped. So that might be this map. I don't know. I'm going to shut it down. Probably doesn't shut down that sound. It does make a lot of noise. And we're going to bring it all the way in. There were so many things today that got to me, and there are quite a few, and I'm glad that this is going to be more of a recording probably than anything else, which I'm good with. The fact that the defense came up with Tyler, it is Tyler. Whatever it is. The defense came up with the simple fact that the bullet does not fit the weapon. How phenomenal is that? And then comes along, well, we're not quite inclusive or conclusive there yet. And I'm like, okay, they always have to find something else. But you know what? The thing that I started with here on YouTube was simply I wanted to really kind of stay in my swim lane. And my swim lane is cybersecurity. You can see all the events that I've gone to in the past over my 25 some odd plus years. I still have to build a lot in my studio. There's so much to be done here. Working as I do late night and then getting like 3 hours of sleep and then having somebody in my front yard cutting stone. I'm not complaining because the suite is going to be beautiful. I'm a little grouchy, but that's okay. I have a new shirt, look, and I don't know what happened to them. This is them. I was going to say Billy and Brandy. I'm kind of wondering about them. I have my own idea. But this shirt, Good Goy, is from 80 Fleet, Athlete. I know Ashley's name, and I don't know why she doesn't go by it. Look, if I put these in, it sounds even better. She does such phenomenal work. I even have a video that I want to cover for her. Here's the thing. So I'm going to start with my beginning. Well, if I really started from the beginning, I would show you the video of myself and Ryan Hall. And I have that queued up here somewhere. I've got so many videos queued up. So let me take you back to the beginning. I had a client call me, and he sends me text, and my phone is set to do not disturb. I'm trying to get a little bit of sleep. And sleep, for me, during the day is very difficult when I can't really lay down. Now, I could literally take my little broken behind upstairs and climb into one of my kids' beds. And they're not here anymore, except for the youngest one, who's about to turn 30. Did he turn 30? No, he didn't turn yet. But that's not kind of my thing. So I more or less sit in this chair or meander around I more or less just sit in the chair because I don't like the dust of the stone and it gets everywhere. Anyway, why does it say offline? Why does it say offline here? I don't know. Share. No. Offline. I don't know what that means. Look. Big screen. I want to close that out. I'm not messing with that. I don't know what that means. So I still have a lot to learn when it comes to this whole YouTube thing, and I know that. And I'm learning. And that's one of the things that I truly adore about this. because I'm learning something new, right? So let's go back to, and it sounds like I have an echo. I want to go back to, that's an echo, right? I want to go back to how I started here. I am a cyber guy, and the Daughtry Files, I believe that's what she calls herself, she does a lot of investigations into some of the things that I've done following the Ellisons around, because they, I think, have a plan to control the world eventually, whenever that time occurs. They are buying everything. They have bought most of the media that we have seen or we see. And, you know, capturing data, they did it at Tiananmen Square, one of the first videos that I put out. For me, the videos were difficult because they took a lot of time to produce it. I had in my head what I wanted to do. Back in the day, I was a DJ in college, so I was more or less, mixing and scratching. It's a lot easier just doing this. So I say all that to take us to here. Boom, look at that transition, right? And what we're looking at is, I believe, what the West Wing is supposed to look like. The, White House ballroom. Now, if you really go and do some research, the White House ballroom spec and architect or current architect and all the people that are donating to this monstrosity do not really belong just for the ballroom. There are a lot of technical people, Microsoft and Dell and major power supply organizations and water cooling systems. And so I understand that there is a bunker below the White House, but the Daughtry Files, and she does such a phenomenal job. And I hear this echo, and I don't know how bad it is, so I'm going to go with it. She laid out the fact that this massive data center is being built below the West Wing, and I believe it is because there is a method behind the madness, and the method would truly be to know where people are, what they're doing, and how to control and coordinate them. And there's enough entities out there where we have cameras everywhere. The Ring cameras, I actually took down my Ring. I want to put it back up. The Ring cameras are all now on a homogeneous network that anybody can control. So imagine, even though it might be your camera, like we saw in for Nancy Guthrie, but they can all be accessed through somebody else's server. Turn up this. That being the case, if the police want to see what's going on, if they just want to watch you walk down the street, or maybe you have something going on, maybe there's a car chase, they can actually follow it from one ring to another. Now, I don't know how immediate that can be right now, but that's a hell of a thought. Anyway, I digress. So this is, I'll give it a like, and I've already looked at who WQAD Channel 8 is. Just heard some noise. I don't know what that's coming from, but I'll figure that out. There's a lot of open windows here. So I'm just going to close that one. And I've got so many screens that are open. There's so many things I want to speak about, but I'm going to start here. I even have a tearjerker, and hopefully I'll get through that one. But this is really what I wanted to delve into and how I wanted to get involved with YouTube. Now, the things that I wanted to point out of the surveillance state, because we are going to be, if not already, surveilled. The days of the old car chases are going to end. The days of helicopters flying around are going to end, because it's all going to be drones. It's all going to be cameras that are already in place. The town that I live in, there are cameras at every intersection. Every single intersection. And I know that there's a method to possibly, allegedly, compromise some of these cameras that are out there. Okay. I don't do that. I haven't even had time to play with some of the devices that I purchased almost a year ago. And once I get this place done, and I'm slowly but surely moving along, I just hung another, that's like a 40-inch today. I don't even know if I plugged it in, but I believe I'm going to put a Mac up there. Or what, anyway, it doesn't matter. This data center that they are building will house and have a lot of information about, I believe, what's going on in the general public, what is occurring around the country, and how to control a narrative. The same dimensions of this underground unit can be found in Israel. Okay, I don't know why we can't say Israel. I just don't. Hey, neighbor. It's echoing. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Okay. Are you one of my neighbors? Wonder if it's not that one. That one? No. Well, this one. No? No? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Now if I turn that one off and global. That says Mike. What if I turn that down? Maybe it might have stopped. Let me know if the echo is still there. I still kind of hear an echo. It might be my minister. I'm still putting all this together. If it's just unconscionable, let me know. I have turned off. I'll turn that one back on. It's better? Okay, I'm going to turn that one back off. Thank you. Yeah, again, I'm learning. This is my second live. I was so tired. I didn't want to go live. I had a client that just got on the phone and started speaking with me. I made plans to build him a custom computer for one of his projects, and the computer actually looked like a racing engine. So go back to a couple of buttons, okay? Okay, let me turn off that one. I don't like that one. That says me. Oh, you know what? That might be a double right there. How's that sound? Is that better? First button did it better. Okay, and I don't know. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't leave that one alone. And desktop audio, I'll leave that one alone. And you know what? Turn that off. I'll have to play with it more. How about now? No? Yes? No? And volume is low. Why is my volume so low? My volume should be high. I am like redlining on everything. I'm going to change out this mixer. I said I was going to do it before. I don't know why the volume is low. It should be just popping right there. I don't know what that means. Oh, it's working now? Oh, you weren't talking how low. Oh, you were talking low. Okay. How does it sound now? It's better now. Great. Okay. I hear an echo in my head. I don't know. There's probably an echo in my head because it's empty. Only a slight echo. That's a good thing because I can do this. I've always wanted to do this. Now it's better. I was a DJ in college, and I always liked a little bit of echo in the background because it always sounded so much better. And maybe I just need to speak my ass up, and just start talking a little bit louder. But it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, But anyway, I want to go through this. So this is the West Wing, and a data center is being built here. Yes, there's a bunker that's here, and I believe there's a control center and a control. But regardless. Every time I say regardless, it's like irregardless. Regardless, there is a data center here. Let me know if you can hear this.
President Donald Trump's plan.
Oh, you know what? I know what's wrong. Hold on. I didn't change my settings on my sound card. That's what's wrong. This computer is just so... I bet you... I don't know which one it is. Let's see. That's output. Let's see if we make a difference here.
Ballroom connected to the White House.
No,
In his ruling, the judge said the president is the steward of the White House, not the owner.
All right.
That construction needs to stop and wait for congressional approval. And a different judge has tossed out President Trump's executive order to cut NPR and PBS funding. The ruling blocks the White House from denying funds based on an editorial viewpoint, and that this executive order crosses a First Amendment line. This opens the door for public media to regain some funds. In a statement, PBS said it is thrilled with the news.
Yeah, so that's kind of wild. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Matt before, this is Matt at, he's got a couple of channels that are running right now. I have a wicked echo in my head, and I am redlining hard. Let's see, he said audio, wait a minute, hold on. Audio, video, sound is perfect. Awesome. And it's better, okay. Only slight echo. Well, thank you, top fan. Love Matt. So do I. He is so solid and he's a great announcer. I would love to have him as a teacher. Probably wouldn't because I like to goof around too much. But I'm an old guy, so goofing around is kind of my thing right now. Anyway, I thought that was interesting that it got stopped. And I guess, the president has so much on his plate right now, and I honestly feel for him. I hope he's okay mentally. The war is going to be weighing heavily on him. Everything that he has going on is just ridiculous. And as much as I might not like Mr. Trump, I still pray for him a great deal because it's important. We all have to support what he does. He is our president. Now, moving forward, I want to get into the findings today. If I can find my cursor, I have a sin of way too many screens here. And going back. So if the glove doesn't fit, you must, that's right. You must acquit. Here is Miss Candace here. And something else came up after her show was over, and I thought it was quite interesting. So let me pipe this one in, and let's see if we can do a little smooth transition. Sorry. Look at that.
Pay attention. Look alive, okay? The state has also indicated that the FBI is in the process of conducting a second comparative bullet analysis as well as a bullet lead analysis, that these analyses are not yet complete. Okay, pay attention, Tyler Robinson's defense team. I'm about to help you out in a big way. So they told you that, you conferred. They said, okay, don't worry, we got it. We got this. We're going to do a secondary thing with the feds. And like me, I'm nosy. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? The ATF is alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. That's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. If they couldn't do it, what extra power does the FBI have to do it? If the firearm people can't do it, why is this going to the FBI? So I said, what is a comparative bullet lead analysis? What is that? I need to know things. I like to learn. And lo and behold, we find out that the CBLA, the compositional analysis, is a discontinued forensic technique that analyzed trace elements, copper, arsenic, in lead to link crime scene bullets to suspects. It was primarily used by the FBI from the 1980s until 2004, but it was then abandoned in 2005 due to flawed scientific, statistical, and interpretive validity.
Okay, so let's stop this for a second. And that echo is still wicked here. 20-year-old analysis. That's right. You spot on. This is an old technology that the feds are pulling up and that actually sent people to jail, to prison for years. And she's about to show a gentleman who went to prison for years, I believe 7 years, for a bullet that was found in his pickup truck that matched 7 rounds that were tiny echo. Yeah, tiny echo. 7 rounds that were papowed. I don't know why you can't say S-H-O-T. Anyway, into his wife, and then the house was burned out. This is old technology, but the Fed, the FBI, is trying to utilize this to match the round that doesn't match the rifling in the gun. Look, it's kind of obvious, what is, thank you, what is going on here, It would seem to me that if you do not continue the investigation, then you know what you were trying to do. To me, if anybody watched my last video, and it's probably the last video that I'm going to produce in that manner, where I just collect a whole bunch of data and talk about the billionaires that are trying to control the world. By the way, I'm extremely happy, retired, semi-retired, I guess. It kind of just paints itself where we're going, why we are where we are. Okay. I'm in my head. I keep thinking, I've got this video that I want to play that I saw earlier today, and I'm not going to bring it up towards the end because I do get emotional on some of these things, but it is of soldiers saying goodbye to their family. Why are we doing Vietnam all over again? Now, I'm an old dude, and I've been around enough, and I recall watching Vietnam. I was a youngster, in my mom, dad's kitchen, eating dinner on a little black and white TV. Yes, TVs were black and white at one point. I don't think we ever had a color television in the kitchen. And it actually had a little antenna, and there might have even been some tinfoil on the end of that antenna. Who knows? But it is what it is. So next up, I have somebody who I would never think I would ever have on a podcast of mine. And it's not, I don't even know who this guy is, whose original podcast. I started pulling up all these videos because I wasn't really planning on going live. My thought was to go live at 11. Client stopped that. Long story short, this is Nick Fuentes. I'm not a fan at all, but the Vietnam War, he makes a valid point here, and when somebody makes a valid point, I'm not going to shut him down.
Now you realize what happened? It's too late. It's too late now.
That's quite a
Alright,
good
guys,
show.
welcome back to the channel. Today we have Nick Fuentes giving us an update on the war and a bunch of other topics. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
We have a lot to talk about tonight. Lots to get into. A big show. Our featured story, we are once again covering the war in Iran, now in its 5th week. 5 weeks of war. Can you believe it? Just another 2 more weeks to, what is the expression again? Flatten the curve, flatten Iran. And today is day 31, I believe it is.
It's crazy.
Day 31 of the war, and sort of interesting. Our big story tonight, this conflict is going to go in either one of 2 directions. These are both signals from the president in just the past 24 hours. Yesterday, Trump said on Truth Social that if Iran does not open up the Strait of Hormuz, then he's going to level the entire country. He's going to bomb desalination, power plants, electrical grid, oil industry, even the oil infrastructure on Karg Island. So that's option number 1. That's plan A. Plan A is if Iran does not surrender immediately, we're going to escalate, bomb everything. We may even take the island. According to a new interview from the Financial Times, Trump said he's considering seizing the oil, which we've discussed many times over the past week and a half, 2 weeks.
So do we not have enough oil already with, man, I got a wicked echo. That's better. Do we not have enough oil already with Venezuela? What happened to that? What happened to, what are we doing? Why are we there? I would like really some clarification other than, oh, Bibi said we need to be there. I have a video somewhere, and I believe it is of, I don't know, one of these guys. I've got so many videos queued up. But again, all over the place. This is what Charlie did not want us to do. And I just don't get it. And I don't like Fuentes at all. But the fact that we are there and we are about to put boots on the ground and they think someone believes that bombing is going to work. This doesn't work. I remember when they were using some type of gel, and they were setting everything on fire in Vietnam, and that didn't work then. It's just, yeah, but behind the scenes, it's not beyond me because I honestly, I think we all know what's causing this. I really do. I think everybody is aware. This is another one here, Jimmy Dore, and this one got to me. It got to me big time. I respect a lot of the older guys. Jimmy is one of them. I respect them all. The young, they're all young to me. Jimmy is just brilliant here, and let me see if I can make him larger.
Prentice sends American boys 1,000 miles into Iranian territory.
Why don't I hear him loud? Why don't I hear him? Maybe you guys do. Let me see.
Architects of the war watch from their bunkers. Television.
All right, let's try again.
Same as Iraq. Same as Afghanistan.
Professional show here, y'all.
Same.
You know, having this many screens is not an advantage, simply for the fact that I have to look way the hell over here to making sure. Okay, here's Jimmy. Oh, really? In OKC. Okay, so you are a neighbor. That's cool. That's definitely cool. Yeah, war is hell. Oh, confused. You are probably pretty close to my age. I used to love MASH. I have a whole story around MASH. I do. A whole story. Where's my cursor? Okay, can I play this? Is that the button? Apparently not. It's down here. Here we go.
Prentice sends American boys 1,000 miles into Iranian territory while the architects of the war watch from their bunkers.
Something's not right.
Same as Iraq, same as Afghanistan, same chicken shit cowardice, same bill paid in American blood. So guess what? Israel is not going to send soldiers to Iran.
Just like they didn't send soldiers to Iraq.
Just like they didn't send soldiers to Libya. They're not sending soldiers to Iran.
I got 5 years on here.
Soldiers won't join any U.S. ground operation in Iran.
Is that video? Is that audio coming through from Jimmy?
Israel will reportedly keep bombing from the air, but won't send troops 1,000 miles into Iranian territory. The logic is straightforward. Israel doesn't have the logistics to sustain ground forces that far from home, and plus we already know that their military is on the verge of collapse. Israel, because they're overextended, and there's lots of the soldiers don't want to fight.
Yeah. So the same exact thing. They're 1,000 miles away. We're a few thousand miles away, and they don't want to fight. So we'll let you fight, big brother. You go on over there and pop out the bad boys, and you go fight for us. I'm done with this crap. I really am. I really and truly am. You know, I would like to see him live. I really would. He is, to me, very logical, very sensical. You know, it just makes sense, right? And I don't have Joe's video queued up here, but the gentleman who just retired from Mr. Trump's cabinet put out a video today. Hey, Allie, put out a video today speaking of not wanting to put boots on the ground here because it is a dangerous, dangerous thing. We've already had quite a few casualties. We've already had boxes returned. We've already had families become Gold Star families. They should not have been. Late Nights with Ivan, that's right. This one's a little bit later. By the way, happy April Fool's Day. And apparently we are all fools for believing that we were not going to go into this war. Okay? I love the fact when guys come in and people know who each other are. That's just awesome. So I'm going to bring in Nissy as well. This goes all well. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. There's so much in my head that's spinning around, and I know some of you guys are late coming in. I had a client that got on the phone with me for over an hour, and it's like, I can't get a hold of you. Oh, my house is under construction. I'm not getting enough sleep. Blah, 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 whatever. If you really want me, pay me some more money and we'll talk about this. Here's the bottom line. I'm tired of the Fed slop feeding us bullshit. At the end of the day, the bullet doesn't match the rifling of the gun. We've already figured that part out. Bravo. Everybody else needs to shut up at this point, okay? I'm tired of TPUSA talking about, well, we've got mountains of evidence. Gary and his people, he's I'm the littlest podcaster of them all. And I just happen to have some great big friends like Alec. It is so sad that we have to watch this occur again. And I'm probably older than most here. I know I am. But this is nothing more than Vietnam again. And we're seeing it over and over. And we see the same exact thing. I was going to put up Nisi and have her speak about Butler. And I found it very interesting that this happened right then and there. That gentleman, a little kid, was framed. He was a patsy for attempting to kill he was a former president at that time. Now he's the president, Trump. I'm not even sure that he pulled the trigger. I'm not even sure that there was a bullet that was shot because the gentleman was killed. He was murdered in the audience. My bottom line is that we are being fed a bunch of bullshit. And I'm sorry, it's late night, and this is not a PG video. So Ivan is let loose. My tongue is, I have no governor because I'm tired of this crap. I really am. Will you be, what are we talking about here? Evidence? Yeah. Mountains of evidence. I saw that Didi has a podcast, and I don't have enough time to watch all these guys. He debated someone, I guess that Gary had on, and I saw the cartoon. By the way, since the new one's coming, guys, check out the shirt, my good boy. All right, I got my. This is from Adfleet. Adfleet. One of these days, you'll see how much I support you. I got the sweatshirt and the t-shirt. I'm still waiting on my t-shirt from Barron. I have my sweatshirt. So my bottom line here is that we're being fed crap, and we all know it. We all know why we're in Iran. I think we all know. To me, it's somewhat obvious. I think we all know the cause of Charlie's demise. It's interesting that Netanyahu, who is a full-out criminal, sent his condolences so early, so quickly in this entire scenario. And I honestly believe he is no longer here. I hope that's probably not right as a Christian. But I think there's a special place in hell for him. Let me just put it that way. And I think he might be enjoying that right now. My personal opinion. I asked Grok last night whether or not he was still alive, and I debated with Grok, and then he finally told me, well, I can't talk to you anymore because you used up all your money. I was like, okay, well, I'm pissed off at you. Bottom line is, we haven't seen him live at a live conference since, I think, the 12th or the 13th, something of that nature. So I don't believe he's really here anymore. I don't. But there's still the narrative, and we've already stepped into it. And the billionaires that are running behind all of this, the Kushners that are pushing us towards the elimination of Gaza and all of that. And you would have to, I don't know what you could do to possibly convince me that killing 150 little girls was an accident. I call bullshit on that all day long. I actually have that video. It was in my second to last video. I actually covered it up as a censor. It hurt. It really did. And so I'm going to show you guys a video if I have it queued. Now I've got so many things and they're probably all scrambled here. I was going to save this one to the end because I have a thing in my heart where, as much as I believe, men shouldn't cry and this, that, and the other, this one hurts because I can only imagine the pain that these two people are feeling. And then I look at the gentleman, the black guy in the back, and he's talking to his mom, and I watch his foot tap up and down like he does not want to go. Now the guy up front here, he's smiling, so I'm not really sure what's going on here, but you'll see this interaction, and it just, I don't know. There's no sound here. I didn't record it with sound because I couldn't. I can't even look at it. Oh, you guys can't even see it. Oh, my dumbass. Now let's try it this way. All right, so he looks, and he goes in for the hug. And that hug, that's a realization that he may not be coming back home. And I don't get on X often, and it sounds like to me the echo just got worse. I don't get on X often, but to see this stuff, and I was going to say another bad word, I'm trying not to do that. This is bullshit. We did this already in Vietnam. We did. And we don't need to be doing this again. And if we do, then Barron Trump needs to be out there. Put his ass out there. Okay? This is uncalled for. This is not America. This is not what we voted for. This is not who we are. We are nothing more than a bully. I can't stand the fact that these people are it breaks my heart. It just does. It just does. I don't get on X. I don't get on X because of this. I don't post on X. I go on X to see who sends me a message. Most of the time, just Chris, as he's the only one I really talk to on X. But this hurts. It does. And we shouldn't be there. And to this day, I kind of wonder, there's a show I actually watch out of Vietnam about this family, these guys who build cars out of just their crap. But, the bodies look really good. And they're Maseratis and all these fancy cars. And I'm thinking, we were in war with them some 20 years ago. And now it's like nothing happened. Why are we doing this now? Why do we are out there killing? We call ourselves Christians, but I believe in the commandments it says, thou shalt not kill. I just don't understand. Why does the government think that they can run a psyop on us? Those days are over. We all get it. Excuse me. We all have cameras. We all do deductions. We all have internet connectivity. We all are no longer just, well, that's not true. I hate saying all. I hate when people just group us all together. I look at my little street here, my little cul-de-sac that I live on. I'm the only one that looks like me. But across the street, I have a Chinese nationalist. And at the end of the street, I have a Russian nationalist. And he just moved in. And when I met him and I told him my name was Ivan, he looked at me like, really? Really? And he didn't know what to say. Yeah, I said, I'm a black Russian. And he laughed and we giggled. And that was it. We all need to figure out that it's not about battling one another. It's about coming together. It's about coming together. And we're constantly being pushed apart. And I think that's what we're missing. That is what Joe Kent was trying to tell us. They want us to be at those odds. Here's something I came across yesterday, and I don't have these videos together. Again, I had a client that came in, and I was hoping that he was going to kind of join this. He's a young guy. He's really smart. At the end of the day, we all have to figure out how to get along together, right? And their psyop is to keep us apart. So here's what I was getting to. I have a neighbor, one of my wife's best friends. She just ran for some office, some little tiny office, whatever. But she also organizes or was involved with this No King's Day. Bravo. I have 2 bad knees from being a skier, so I'm not going to march anywhere. I keep my butt in this chair. This No King's Day has a sign-up sheet. They tell you how to make your signs, how to be organized, how to do all these things. Well, let's stop for a minute. Who's behind that sign-up sheet? Who is the organization there? They're not paying anybody. They tell you to take your pictures and post them on social media and all these wonderful things. So hold on. I know enough about the internet, and I know enough about facial recognition, and I know what is possibly behind all these things. And if we start doing some investigation, we find out that they're collecting data. All those rallies are geofenced. Every single one of them, they know every single phone that was there. They know who was associated with. They know the parameters that were there. They know who, what, when, where, and why, and who signed up for what. We need to stop and think about what the hell we're doing and how we're allowing somebody to control this and what this is all about. And it's just sad. It breaks my heart. You know, Barron had a show. He had a members-only show today. And I think a couple of days ago he talked about, 9/11, and he talked about the moon landing and things of that nature. And as a kid, I watched the World Trade Center being built. My father was a captain of a ship. My father's from Bermuda. He was a very smart man. I don't know where the hell I got my stupidity from. Because my mother was smart too, so I guess I was just left out anyway. The bottom line was I didn't have a lot of time to spend with him directly, and that's one of the reasons why I was a skier and not, somebody who played American football or something of that nature, because my father believed that American sports were stupid. I negate. But I was a pretty good skier, even though I was a big guy. That's why I have no knees to this day. Long story short, we all need to figure out why we're doing what we're doing and who we're doing it for and who's really behind it. Who's capturing that data? Even your medical records. Everything, every pill that you take, every thing that you order through Amazon. I got today my Vans from Barron, and when he was talking about landing on the moon or 9/11. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's a great advertisement. So with my dad, I would go down to his Union Hall, and he would put me up on his shoulders, and I could look over the barrier at the towers being built. And it was just a memory I've always had, right? It was kind of a really close-knit memory that I had with him. And it was some of the little times that we spent together, just he and I. And to see them go down, and I remember exactly where I was that day, and I wanted to, I'll never forget, my thought was, those are my towers, because I watched them being built from the ground up, literally. And I didn't really grasp that Tower 7 went down until not too long ago. It's like, what the hell? Why did it go down? Okay, I know why it went down now. There's a couple of videos out on X right now that second tower really didn't even have a plane going through it, or even the Pentagon. I tell my kids, there are cameras everywhere. Everywhere. I got 14 around my house. 14. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust my wife. I trust my wife. I don't trust her phone. I don't trust my phone. If we don't start paying attention to everything that they have access to, we've already lost. It's remarkable. All these little things. I watched the war, right? I watched the strikes in Israel. But even the cookies that they're putting on my computer, I have to scrub those every single night because somebody knows that I'm watching that. I watch Barron's show. My computers are on 24/7, 365. That one show, every single time Barron is on, my browser will crash. I've got 3 or 4 different browsers on my machine. I've got a very, very powerful machine. i7, 2 GPUs, 370s, twins. I mean, just 64 gig of RAM. I mean, a couple of terabytes worth of. It will crash regardless. up all day long. He comes on, it always crashes, no matter what. Not the machine, just the browser. Doesn't matter if it's Firefox. I don't use anything else, either Firefox or Brave. Guarantee it'll crash. Why? I don't know. Don't know. Yeah, it is interesting. It's very interesting. It is. I've got some other stuff that I could queue up here, and I don't know that I'm going to. I've got one here from the honeypot. All right, so let me cue it up the way I had it. Oh, wait, I got a Jimmy here. What is Jimmy? Which one is this? Yeah, okay. I'll cue this one up because I don't know who these people are. And sorry that I'm not just, the adamant pro here. But I'm learning. And we all have our stretches of learning. I don't know if Chris is watching or not. Chris, I love your studio. Everybody has to do something somewhere. Yeah, Allie, Allie, you and I have and I want to talk about this one day. I was hit by lightning. I wasn't hit directly by a lightning bolt. I was sitting in this very exact seat, and there's a tree that I can look at right now through one of my cameras that is connected to via my Ethernet switch. And I lost a lot of equipment that day. Man, I got a wicked echo right now. I lost a lot of equipment that day. I mean, garage door openers, sprinklers, all kind. This thing makes an echo and a half. Hold on. Yeah, you shush. You shush. I'll move you off screen. I want to go back here. Transition. Air conditioning units, garage door opener, sprinkler system, 4 monitors. My next door neighbor lost a refrigerator. All kinds of things went. Just tons and tons of equipment. We had to get it covered by insurance. I still have one camera out that was on the roof. I don't know if you guys saw the last video. Whatever I captured on that video, I'm not going to call it a UFO, but whatever it was, that's how that was captured. Excuse me. Went through all of that process. So I know that you also were hit by a high voltage. So that's one of the things that we might have in common. For a week, my face was deformed. It looked like I had a stroke, just on one side. I felt fine. I was behind the keyboard, and it was loud, and it was scary. And the camera that I had in the tree was actually blown apart. I have an area that the cable goes into my house. The gutter that comes down from my second story has a hole in it where the power from the lightning strike just grounded itself to that as it just went through all of my systems. I've got, 90 some odd IoT devices in my house, from every light bulb, every switch. There's a firewall right there. It got fried. I've got sound system in here that got fried. There was so many things. And it's something that I won't ever forget. I used to love watching storms. If you watch that last video that I made, or whatever, one of them, I just love lightning and watch the storms and all that. Not anymore. It's a different deal. So that's one of the things that you and I do have in common, Allie. It was scary. It was scary. So I'll leave that there. Anyway, I don't know why I thought about that, but I know that's one of the things that yeah, I know that you refer back to it often, and it's just once you have it, you just never forget about it. All right, so I digress. We're going to talk about some beeswax. I was going to just say some bees honey. I don't even think she's that good looking. I hear this over my house speakers, my stereo. I don't hear this in my ears. I don't know why. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Let me cue it back up here. Transition over, or as Allie would say, let me put it up on stage. I'm using OBS because it's like the old man way. And you know what? I'm going to make myself disappear. Let me see how good I am at this left screen. And transition. Look at that. I'm getting good at this. Oh, see, that sound does something.
Working against the Trump administration. Wilkins put together a link.
You guys hear that okay?
Writing in part, quote, a foreign linked influence network has been running coordinated operations
Fuzzy titty. Gotcha. I don't think it's coming over the way it's supposed to. And this is the hazard of my complicated computer here. System, sound. Let's see if that's any better. No.
Social media attacks.
No.
She cited data.
I don't know. I'm working on it, guys. My apologies. It should be desktop audio.
And she pointed out how Ken Jones quickly defended.
I'm not seeing it where it should be. Right. Well, because I'm not seeing it correctly, I'm not going to play it if it doesn't work. That's odd. I still have to set up OBS the correct way. So it's something I'm still working on. As I know Chris knows, and anybody else that does this, Allie, I know you know as well. What's happening, Outlaw? It's not an easy chore to do this. Look, I'm talking, and this guy is right there. It's like, oh, he doesn't even move his lips. Camera and transition. Here I am. I just wanted to I'm going to figure this out. Now I'll get my echoes down, and I will get my reps in. But instead of just creating videos, sometimes I think it's just easier to go online. Look, my bottom line is for today, I didn't want to just speak. I did want to. I felt so good that bullet didn't matter. Allie, never stop, because we need to make sure we know how it happened. I know who caused it. I'm not talking about Tyler. You're these people. I honestly believe it has to do with, no, Charlie, you don't want to support the cause anymore, you gotta go. Okay, well, yeah. So, but I don't know how. I have my own opinion. I believe a lot of it has to do with that cross. I believe a lot of it has to do with, I don't know if that was Frank Turner or whoever, that little palm gun. I think that palm gun was just a sighting mechanism for some type of weapon that we don't even know about. But it's all theory and conjecture, because I don't know. And by the time, Allie, you figure it out, I probably won't even be on this world anymore. But that's okay. But I damn sure know it wasn't that little guy who has an interesting pen pal. I want to leave it at that, because all that entire case is going to fall apart. And TPU SA is also going to fall apart, because we're going to figure out that it's all money laundering, and how so many Christians can support a organization. No, I'm not going to walk into this one. At the end of the day, we need to start focusing back on Christians and this country and taking care of our own people. And the PACs that are out there are ridiculous. I had a video of the second largest collector of economics from APAC is Marcus, whatever, the Secretary of State. The amount of money that they're pulling down, the amount of money that J.D. Vance is receiving from Palantir. We need to be cognizant of all of these officials, and it doesn't matter if it's left or right. There is no left or right. We've all figured that out before. Now we've got to make sure that we follow through with that. I don't necessarily know how. Joe Kent suggested writing to your senator, writing to your congressman, making sure you voice your opinion. And I'm going to do so because I don't want to see any more Americans killed. It destroys my heart so badly, so much. My youngest son, who just went out to go get a snack at 1:30, was in the Air Force for a very short period of time, and because he had a broken ankle or something that was never corrected, they decided to kick his butt out. So It needs to be America first and only America. We are the biggest bully in the world. We go and start more fights and more wars. Why can't we just sit our butts down? I'm closing out all these other windows. I had some stuff up here from Jimmy Dore. I had some things up from Lionel. Lionel is like my newest podcaster. I don't have enough time to watch all these. I'm still trying to figure all this out, why I'm building this thing and not getting any sleep, because my bloody house is under construction, and when it's done, it'll be beautiful. I'll have a gorgeous bathroom that I never use because I use the one here. But my wife's bathroom, the ensuite, will be just gorgeous because it's just dripping in just beautiful granite. Whatever. It's her business. So. Anyway, it's like I try to sleep in here because it's being done in my bedroom, right? So I try to sleep in here, and all I hear is this buzzsaw of stone being cut. It just reminds me I probably need to go to the dentist. I digress. We need to think about us and our children and our children's children. My oldest son is about to get married in August. I believe that there will probably be my first, if and when they do decide to have a child, will probably be my first grandchild. My oldest daughter is already married. My youngest daughter is a doctor. She's not even thinking about it. My youngest son, he's just happy to be back home. So, and I think bringing a child into this world right now is just crazy. But it's always been crazy. It's always been crazy. And we just have to do the best we can do and treat them the best way we possibly can, but show them really what is occurring. My mind was blown today. And I might have known in my heart that we never landed on the moon. I kind of want to believe that we did. I don't have 4 kids. I have 4 adults. They're all grown, and they're all great kids. They all have jobs, and they're all employed, and they all are going through the struggles that I went through for all those years that I've spent in cybersecurity and in business, right? But yeah, so I've got a doctor who doesn't look a thing like me, but God, does she have my attitude. And one of these days, I plan on having all my kids on. I do. I think that my podcast, I want it different. I don't want to just focus, with those blinders. I want to bring in some younger thoughts. I want to hear from them. My youngest son has got a brain and a half, but he chooses to use it. And when he starts to speak, where did you come from? What is this? And he says things that cause me to pause, right? All of them are just at a different level, right? So it's just very interesting to watch, and I think kids are great. Columbo is my favorite show in the entire world, and that's why you'll see him on a lot of my videos. I create my videos as, do you see Columbo over my shoulder? I've got the entire collection right there. I don't know if you can see it. And actually, since there's only a handful, that's me, guys. I think I was like 3. And there was a guy, here's my first iPad. It's my first digital phone right there. There was a guy on my father's boat who made that's a chalk drawing that was done from a photograph. That's all family back there. That's what that is. And eventually, hopefully by tomorrow, that will change from a different color from red. But they say red is supposed to do something for, I don't know, your face or whatever. I digress. Again, we have to stop fighting. We have to stop doing that. And I'll be the first one, and I'll start talking about this one and that one. But normally now I do it out of jest. I've lost a lot of friends over this administration because I believed in my heart how bad they were because of the Central Park 5. I'll never forget what he did there. And he never apologized. And I'll leave that alone. We have to come together and defeat evil. And I never thought there was that type of evil in the world. There is. And it pains my heart. And the sad part I know about my podcast is y'all will eventually see me cry because I feel it in my heart. And I may not be a great investigator like Allie, And I know what you do, Allie, is from your heart. And Chris is phenomenal. And you can be my lightning rod at any time, Chris, because thank God you stand above me. There are so many people I've met from so many different places. There's a lot of people that know me from car chases and following Roger. And there's, I've got so many people that know me from Barron and some of the others. I felt it was necessary for me to get on here and represent some of the old folks. My wife always tells me I don't have a single wrinkle. Yeah, I don't. Well, I probably do, but just the fact I'm big, fat. But I think we all need to see different perspectives from where we are, and we need to come together to fight the bullshit from the top. And it needs to be pushed up. And even Joe Kent might be an op as well. I think he might be a great president. I think he might just be positioning himself right now to run. I do have a cough, but I could use that for a burp. I apologize. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just a guy that's got an expensive microphone that I had to buy for myself for Christmas. And I've got a fancy camera, and I know a little bit about cybersecurity and building computers and surrounding myself with monitors. And hopefully I'll finish the studio where some of that stuff is gone. My sound editing's over here, and I'm going to move way back there. And I want to show you these silly screens that I have up here, 320 inches of monitors. And, but anybody can build this. Anybody can do anything. We all are brilliant. We all are brilliant. We don't need to be led around by our noses. We just don't. I love to watch Barron break things down because he's brilliant in what he does. I want to tell Barron I wanted to ask him, why are we drinking phenol water? Well, because I now drink phenol water. Well, I don't have any right now. I've got this smart water, and it's the black one, and my doctor child tells me, well, it doesn't do anything for kids. Okay, it's just cheap. It's $11 for a case. I got my Vans on today. If anybody knows what Vans are that Barron was advertising, well, I got those today. Athlete does such great things. I've got two of her. I got my good Goya on today. I believe in supporting the community. I love the fact that there is a community here around us, and I don't know what I can contribute. I've got I got a little bit of cybersecurity knowledge. I know some dumb things around that. Probably more than I really want to know. I know who invented the internet. I was there. That sounds awful. I know the first transaction that occurred on the internet. Anybody want to guess? And no, it wasn't sex. That was probably the second transaction. And it wasn't Al Gore. It wasn't. And I believe Vint Cerf still works for Verizon. I spent 20 years with him. Actually, my first retirement was with him, and then I came back in. I worked, I think, for another 10 years. And then I just had enough. I have, but it won't go away. It's in my soul. To watch compromise happen. I know what and how the Chinese work. I have the same exact toys that they do. I can tell you, you're echoing, bro. Yeah, I know. I've got multiple inputs, but that's not an echo, brother. This is an echo. Okay, to me. And I've always wanted to broadcast like this. Back when I was in college, I was a DJ on the radio, and you could turn it up and down, and you could have a little bit of echo. You always wanted that little extra. One of these pots that I have here is a double, and I don't know which one it is. I can guess, and maybe it's that one. Oh, that sounds better already, doesn't it? How's it? The echo's gone now, right? Come on, Outlaw. See, Chris, I was telling you before, you come over and start helping me out with some of my buttons.
I can change my voice like this.
Or like this.
This is what I imagine Ben sounds like.
I will never be a robot, though. And this is Ivan. Yeah, I figured out which one it was. Again, I'm working with OBS, and there is no instruction manual. You have to learn as you go along, and that's what I'm doing. I watch my father, who can navigate through stars, and you can't see. I have his sextant up there, and I have his flag, and I have a red and green lantern up there, red right return and whatever. Outlaw MC Ivan, you dirty dog. How am I a dirty dog? What did I do? I don't know. Anyway, the bottom line is that I'm learning, and I don't want to stop. I watch my father stop learning, and I think you always have to grow and learn, and no matter what it is. It's like I watch Ali just constantly learning and diving and going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then, Chris will show me his setup because he's seen mine. Chris, wait till you see what I've got running now. I just re-erected an old MacBook, and now I've got 3 screens actually on my desk, just little 15-inch monitors, and the 3 65 inches here, and there's another one up there, and then there's 2 45s here, and I just hung 2 32s over there, and I'm not finished yet. I'm still going. I want LG to sponsor me. I don't think that'll ever happen. Yeah, but I'm just trying to do things. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to expand because I'm scared. I'm getting old. I'm closer to 70 than I am to any other round number, and I've never been this way before. I can get up out of this chair by myself, other than Barron always tells us to keep moving. But the thought is that it exists, and the fact that we didn't land on the moon just F's me, because I believe that. And I don't know if we're going to do it, but today, of all days, April Fool's. Thank you, Ali. Yeah, April Fool's. I look 50. That's why the red lights are on. But yeah, you know what they say, honey, black don't crack, right? So, and you're going to have to get used to that, because I make jokes about it is what it is. I'll give you a quick story. I used to do a lot of speeches about cybersecurity. One of the companies that hired me asked me to go up on stage, and it was like I love to go up on stage. I love to give speeches. I love to get in front of people. I am a ham. I know a lot about cybersecurity, so the only thing that my objective was to make you laugh, because I could only talk about one thing, and that was cyber, right? So I would always get up there and start talking about it. And at the end of one of my speeches, I would tell them, well, they called me, and there's a story behind the nickname that they gave me. They gave me the nickname the Black Russian. It was a Russian hacker who gave me that nickname. And anyway, so I said at the end of my speech, and that the CEO was at, they called me the Black Russian. And he says, oh, that's great. And he put his arm over my shoulder, and he says, you can't say that anymore. We are our publicly held company. I said, well, why not? And I licked my 2 fingers, and I rubbed my hand. I said, it doesn't rub off. But he didn't find it funny. It is what it is. I think it's funny. Yeah, Danks is a baller. Danks is one of the ones that pushed me. And I follow Bays. He was one of the ones I watched him, and he gets very emotional as well. He gets into his role. I want to find something to dig into. I had all this great stuff queued up, and my client just totally, we ended up with a conversation. I told him, well, I think a lot of bad things are about to occur within the next 3 or 4 weeks, if not months. And he asked me, if things go down really bad, can I come over and hang out at your place? I'm like, dude, you can come over as much as you want. I will share my purifier straw with you. And that's all he needed to hear. I have no problem sharing. Don't come over with a bad attitude. Come over with the thought that you're here to help me because I'm here to help you. And I think that's what we all need to do. And that's what I see this community, because there's so many of them that have that narrative. Yeah, I know I'm preaching to the choir. Oh, look, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, so I want to stop. But there's so many. You have a ham license. I'm an expert. You know what, Outlaw? I don't. But what I do have, can you see that radio back there? Oh, my God, you've got a good eye. Where is it? It's on that shelf right there. And it's not a ham, but it is a, it's an interesting radio. And it's got an amplifier on it that's 350 watts. When I was a kid, I had a Radio Shack CB, and I would always listen to these guys queue up. and they could clear the airwaves. As an adult, I always wanted to do that. I took one trip down to Florida with my family, and I was able to do that. So I have a lot of scanners. If you know things about ham, I have an SDS 200, and I have another Uniden, whatever the other top of the line is. I like some of those toys. I have some other toys here that my wife refers to as boxes. I don't know if you know what this is. I'm not going to talk about it. That took me almost a year to get. That's my 9-box. I have yet to play with that. I've got one more. I don't know if you know what that is. This is a little dangerous machine. If you go and stay at any hotel that has a key card, and you think you're going to be safe with that key card, don't. All I have to do is have a key card and hold it up to that little device, and then use that device. I can get into any room I want in a hotel. I believe it will start certain cars of certain age, nothing new, but it's just toys to me. I like to know how hackers work or how they think, and radio waves come to you of their own free will and volition, right? And I think so do thoughts, and that's why we all need to continue to think and continue to work together. So no, I don't have my radio, but CQ. I know enough to be dangerous about everything, and I don't know anything at all. That's why I'm always a student. With that, radio frequencies, sweeper. I've got sweepers. I've got software-defined radios. I've got a lot of toys. I love big boy toys. You know, I got another toy right here. This one is that's not a pager, and it's not a phone. It is a secondary method of communications, and maybe one of these days I'll talk about that. But radios are super cool. Radios are everything that we have. You think about 802.11, which is Wi-Fi. You think about 24 megahertz or 5 megahertz. That is Bluetooth or your keyboard. Imagine, if you will, I can sit across the street or maybe even down the street, and with the right antenna, it's not a BlueBerry. With the right antenna, I can pick out what you're typing on your keyboard. So I've got another little device back there somewhere that represents my logo. My logo is a man in the middle, and I want to leave with this. Imagine being at a hotel or an airport, or a Starbucks, and you're logging into what you believe is your a Wi-Fi. It could very well be just somebody like me. I don't do this. It's a possibility. Possibly. Allegedly. Where's my hat? I don't know. I got an allegedly hat somewhere around here. It could be a bad guy. Okay. And I'm just capturing all the data, and I'm just the guy in between. So if you look at my logo, it's an eye with a radio transmission coming in and radio transmission going out. That's what it is. It's a man in the middle. I just play with toys. It's so easy to do. Anybody can do it. My wife goes, all this stuff now. Anybody can learn. And I believe if we all take the time to continue to learn and not grow old, as I creep up on double sixes, we can continue to move forward. And we have to do that as a collective and not individuals. I got judged every single day I entered into a room, and by the time I got off stage, people were applauding, but they did not applaud when they first saw me come in because they made an assumption, and we need to stop doing that. And that might happen the same exact way when I look at my Chinese nationalist across the street or my Russian nationalist that lives down the street. We all have to come together to work for a common collective, because the bad guys, the multi-billionaires, are the ones that we should be looking at, and not the people in Iraq or the people in Gaza. Okay, and that's probably where I'm going to end this. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Last bit, I love my Canadians. I talked about Mount Tremblant and Grey Rocks today. I love the ski, and I miss it. So with that, I wish you all adieu. Have a great morning. Remember, it is April Fool's Day. Don't be a fool. And most importantly, as Baron would say, remember, Jesus loves you. Glad I hopped on. Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Don't click on shit. We'll see you the next one. I'm going to try to do this every single day because I need to get out there. And I didn't want to do it today. I was so tired. I was evil. I barely said any words to my wife when she came home. I was just done. But hopefully this construction will be over and I'll get some good night's sleep. We'll see you all in the next one. Thank you all. I don't know what information I gave you, Allie. I was just ranting. Or Chris, I'm sorry. I was just ranting. Hopefully I will get more organized as I do these things because I really did want to point out some things, but it's just good to get out there. And, hey, y'all. Hey, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, I believe I'm going to say, make sure you subscribe. Right? I think I have 250, so that's more than I ever would have thought. I'm going to try to do this a little bit earlier as time goes along. Ella, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Look for me next time, guys. Thank you. We will see you soon. Peace, prayers. I'm out of here. Later.